Okay, I'm going to continue testing in the land of palm trees on the Nikon D500 here. People saw that table shake, like, oh no, the D500 was going to fall off the table. I haven't dropped a camera in 15 years. Been shooting all day with the Nikon D500. This is going to be Nikon's next legendary camera for sure, absolutely. No ifs, no ands, no buts. I have given Nikon every bit of criticism they deserve over their screw-ups here and there, and you know, large companies always do that. But they really knocked it out of the park on the D500. I was not at all. Everybody kept asking me, months now, what do you think about the Nikon? It's not out yet. I don't know. What do you think about the Nikon? I have no idea. You know, I knew a few things due to the pixel pitch on this. By the way, there is no anti-aliasing filter in this camera on the sensor. Awesome. I'm almost certain, due to the color cast and the nature of how the sensor looks on that, the sensor looks on this Nikon D500 that is a Renaissance sensor, which is the sensor that is used in Nikon's flagship cameras, like the D5 and the D4S. I'm not 100% certain of that, but I'd be willing to bet money that it is a Renaissance sensor. The full-blown JPEGs on this, no, I don't shoot JPEGs, but I shoot fine, I shoot RAW plus fine. Full-blown JPEGs on this are 12 megabytes. The full-blown RAWs on this, 14 bits, average between 24 and 26 megabytes, so perfectly, you know, a workable size. There is no autofocus illumination lamp on this camera. This camera, what it will autofocus in is stunning. It's mind-blowing. It's better than the D5 that I tested. How is that possible? This camera is $2,000, the D5 is $6,500. It is better. Nikon really knocked it out of the park on the D500 here. If someone were to ask me, look, and I know you got a D750, and of course that's what I'm filming this on right now. You can only have one. I mean, a lot of people operate off this, you know, I got a shiny new toy crap. You know, it doesn't matter whether the product is good or bad. It's like a shiny new toy. I don't work that way. I sure as hell don't work that way. So you can be rest assured when I state that after shooting with this all day, checking pictures, the autofocus, the low light, high ISO picture taking capability, the touch to shutter release, the zoom and scroll features, oh my goodness, I would absolutely, right now and immediately, ditch my Nikon D750 if I could only have one camera between my Nikon D750 and the Nikon D500, period, flat out. Perfectly logical, no emotions involved, no new shiny new toy syndrome crap involved. Absolutely. You should call up a Robert's Camera. No, they don't give me any free stuff. No sponsorship, nothing like that. They are the best camera store in the United States, and they will package your stuff the best, and they are the best people to deal with. I recommend them. But getting back to the camera, the high ISO is incredible. The low light high ISO is unbelievable at 51,200. The autofocus is just blazing fast. Nikon D5 did not live up to that. The D500 does. The 4K video is amazing, even though it's a crop from the DX sensor, of course. Man, you know, how is this any different, the amazing video that comes from a Panasonic in 4K? I'm incredibly happy with the 4K video on this. I mean, I was shooting handheld with a non-vibration reduction lens today and a couple test videos. So what? It was just to give a taste of the 4K video output on this. The ergonomics are incredible. I used some digital calipers today, which I've got right over here, and I was testing the ergonomics on the Nikon D750 versus the Nikon D500 here and the Nikon D7100. The grip profile is exactly the same on the Nikon D500 here as it is on the D750. It is a bit taller and it is a bit wider. Check the prior video where I actually give the specific dimensional differences in millimeters between the two. Unlike the Nikon D750, and I can't stand those bummer eyepieces that are always flipping off and they don't give you a great field of view. The circular eyepiece, the professional one, is found in the Nikon D3, D4, D5, but you can add a 1.2 magnification diopter. This is wonderful. So thanks to Nikon for sticking that on there. The ergonomics on this, everybody loved the grip profile. Not everybody, everybody's got different hand sizes, but most people love the grip profile on the Nikon D750, so Nikon incorporated that into the Nikon D500. Basically, this is a baby Nikon D810 with far superior high ISO, far superior autofocus, far superior buffer. The touch screen high ISO performance, incredible. The autofocus selector point joystick is fast and wonderful to use. Right here we have a little joystick toggle. That's not what Nikon calls it, but that's what I've always referred to those as a joystick toggle. The camera by itself is actually quite lightweight. It's very nice. The battery appears to have about 10% higher rate of consumption, from my estimation of use, having recharged endless. It uses the same EL15 battery as the D750 and D700. So if you got the batteries, you don't have to worry about that. But it does seem to have about a 10% higher consumption rate than the Nikon D750 or the D810 does. No big deal there. The battery life on Nikon is already incredible. If it's 10% less, I really don't give a damn about that. The color rendition, the saturation is beautiful. This is incredibly reminiscent to me of the output of the Nikon D700, the most beloved portraiture camera ever. Very, very reminiscent of that. The low flat profile with no pop-up flash, absolutely love it. That is a point that always breaks in my I have an issue with, I've broken a couple of those, breaking, but you'll hit the button and you'll actually slam the pop-up flash in the inside of the bag. I don't like pop-up flash. I mean, it does serve a purpose in commander mode. It serves no purpose in autofocus assist, but the Nikon flagship cameras do not have pop-up flashes. It is useful, but I didn't want it on this, and actually everything that I was hoping at the very best for the Nikon D500 to deliver on, I mean, it far, far, far exceeded. And I hate everything. I mean, at first people thought, oh, you're a Nikon fanboy. Oh, all you do is talk about Nikon lenses and Nikon cameras. And then I started, making all these videos stating all the stupid mistakes that Nikon made. And people say, oh, maybe this guy's not a Nikon fanboy. It's kind of like tough love. It's kind of like if you got a sister that's fat and ugly and she smokes crack, and you go, honey, I love you, you're my sister, but you need to lose some weight and you need to get off the crack. So I will blame Nikon for their mistakes. And I've pointed them out. I mean, Nikon doesn't give me a damn thing. Nikon doesn't give a damn about me. I'm not gonna, say that poo smells like roses when Nikon makes a big old stinking mistake. But also realistic, in the mess ups that Nikon has made and some of their advertising decisions and the output of the Nikon D5, which I won't even get into. Everybody accused me of being exceptionally harsh on the Nikon D5, and I said, well, just wait. And then all these reviews came in. Basically, there's no top 20 YouTube reviewer that gave a big thumbs up or great recommendation to the Nikon D5. Not a one. None of them. I said it like it was on the Nikon D5. I said, listen, just wait. When these reviews pour in, they'll say the same thing I say, except in slightly softer terms. Well, a lot softer than I say them. This is going to be Nikon's next legendary camera. Flat out, period. I don't gamble, but I'll put money on it right now, and I will win it. I will win it. This is epic camera. I consider this the most... Is it expensive? If you use this thing, or borrow it for somebody, and you were to use it for a couple, 3 hours, it wouldn't even take that long. Any notion you had of, well, it's $2,000 for DX crop sensor, it would vanish. I mean, I just flat out assure you, it will vanish from your brain. It's like, what? No, this camera is great. It's great. It is. Okay. Ergonomics are incredible. The touch screen is amazing. The touch to release on autofocus, and then when you release your finger to fire. It does not have a swivel screen. It's the same pop-out screen as found on the Nikon D750, so it doesn't swivel and articulate around and go upside down and do a belly flop or something. I mean, everybody wants to know if the if the rear LCD will do swivels and dance on its head, and no, of course it does not do that, and I would not want it to do that. That would be too fragile for the feed system and the power system for this. I don't particularly trust those screens. If you're a button sniffer, you'll especially love this camera. As far as the learning curve on this versus any other Nikon, it is a little bit more the features that have been added, like autofocus calibration, wonderful, which exists in this Nikon D500. They've simplified autofocus calibration. Nikon finally listened to their customers. I'll continue doing a bunch of reviews on the D500 here, and I had my reservations too. I thought, well, I have no idea. Everybody wanted me to speculate on the D500. well, oh my God, it's a crop sensor camera for $2,000. I mean, geez, give me a break. You know, I can get a D750 gray market for about... No. You use this camera, and you know, holy crap. I mean, this camera is the tits. You know, your nuggets will fall off and roll in the gutter. This is a really, really, really good camera. And I don't say that. I've owned every Nikon DSLR. I think I've only said that about the Nikon D3 and the D4. And as far as a legendary camera, they're really good Nikon cameras, and there's some losers and there's some bummers. As far as an epic or legendary camera, Nikon D3, Nikon D4. D4S is still fine, but the value is not great. This will be Nikon's next legendary camera. I mean, it will be. The D700 is a legendary camera. D3, D700, D4, and right here, the D500. I was not expecting anything this good on the D500, but it is. Thanks for watching, and you will see me reviewing the D500 from the land of pineapples and palm trees and little hissing geckos that jump on your face in the middle of the night in sunny Fort Myers, Florida. Okay, thanks for watching, and a big shout out to the awesome folks at Robert's Camera in Indianapolis, Indiana. Shout out to Bruce and to Corey. No, they're not giving me anything, okay? No sponsorship. Nobody's paying me to say that they're the best camera store, because they are. They've got better prices on used gear than eBay does. Oh, well, you're plugging a camera store. Yeah, that's because I want to. Not because I'm been given anything. Not because of anything like that. Of my own free will, I do that, okay? And they got this to me quick so I could review it quick and give you the reviews quick. But quick doesn't mean, you know, hastily. You know, when you've owned every Nikon DSLR, you can evaluate something very quickly. And I'm continuing to evaluate the Nikon D500. But I'm telling you right now, this camera has knocked my socks off. Catch you later from the land of palm trees. The Fat Tattooed Freak says good night, good evening, and catch you on the flip side.